Welcome to the Right Stuff from Goldspot Pens, a podcast about pens and the people that write with them. I'm your host, Tom Oddo. In this episode, I'll share some new pens that arrived this week from Nahvalur, Parker, and Penlux. Plus, I share how we choose our exclusive pen designs. Last, I'll give away something on my desk. First new pen in this week's episode we have is the Nahvalur Horizon fountain pen. It's a modern twist on a classic cigar-shaped fountain pen design. The Nahvalur Horizon embodies the lively, distinct personality of the writer. The Horizon draws inspiration from looking at the sky at dusk, twilight, dawn, and during an aurora. A curved metal ring represents ocean waves, half covering the barrel's clear ink window. Here I have the four colors, and I always get dusk and dawn mixed up because they're kind of similar, and I think of dusk or dawn when I look at both of these, but the dawn has the rose gold trim and more of a pink and turquoise / aqua coloration. And you have dusk, which has blues, purples, and some oranges in there, like a fiery orange sunset. And you have twilight, which is green with a black trim and a brown blind cap that's there. And you have aurora, which, believe it or not, actually is the most popular of the four colors. It has a gray and silver sort of sparkling metallic shimmer about this pen and has silver trim. Now, each of these pens, the materials were made by Starry Night resins. So they have a certain shimmery swirliness about them that are unique to each design, and these were hand casted so that each design could look as similar as possible with the same theme. So very unique coloration of resins here and pairing with the trims. And of course you could see the ink window in the barrel, which then tapers down to a kind of a bottleneck in the grip section, and you can see the section threads are usually right above the ink window, but they are actually at the forward end of the pen where the section terminates and then leads to the nib, which is something new. It's unusual. You kind of see it a lot more with Franklin Christoph pens, but not with Nahvalur. This is the first time you've seen a Nahvalur pen with the section threads all the way at the front of the grip. And also something new for Nahvalur is that this cap is meant to be posted. So it's actually a postable Nahvalur pen. Other ones like the original or the original plus can actually be posted, but they post on top of the blind cap. So you have to be a little bit careful because you could engage the blind cap and then move the piston and then the pen empties and you've got a lot of ink on your hands. But this one actually, it posts pretty securely, pretty deep. And really the only thing I could say about it is that the cap with the additional metal ring and the metal top to the cap finial here is a little bit back weighted when you do post it. So it still is a pretty good pen writing with it unposted, but for posters like myself, you actually could post this pen. As with many of the Nahvalur models, this is a piston fill mechanism, so you won't see the piston come up into the ink window, but you could see that the piston kind of moves through this translucent barrel somewhat, and you could see it moving up and down a little bit through the translucency of at least the twilight version of the pen. And you have the number 6 size stainless steel nib made by Nahvalur in a variety of different nib sizes, including double broad and a 1.1 millimeter stub. So a lot to choose from there. And if you'd like to, you could swap it out. You could unscrew the nib unit from the grip section and be able to clean out your pen if you so choose, or swap nibs if you'd like. You find the entire Nahvalur Horizon collection available at goldspot.com for $168. So for this week's customer review, I want to actually dive into a pen that wasn't able to talk about in the most recent episodes of the podcast, but I want to talk about this pen because I'm really excited for the Pilot Custom 743. This fountain pen has the same shape, size, and 14 karat gold nib as the Grail-worthy 823. The key difference is that the 743 uses a cartridge converter filling system with a Con 70 push action converter instead of the 823's high capacity vacuum filling system. So if you like changing inks often, like me, this is a big plus. Also, another advantage of the 743 over the 823 is that it includes a few additional nib sizes that the 823 does not offer, one of which being one of my favorites, the Falcon FA nib, which is what I have here. It's a nice little flexy nib that adds that additional bit of line variation to your handwriting, gives you a little bit of that calligraphic flair. You could practice some Spencerian writing with it, or you just add a little bit of extra bounce to your writing. Earlier this year, Pilot introduced the 743 in a standard black and gold trim. That's okay. Standard black and gold is a great classic trim style, but they introduced this verdigris version as a US exclusive just a few months ago, and I am really stunned by how awesome this tealish sort of aqua green color is, and I'm really hoping that they continue to expand upon the 743 collection by offering it in different colors, because then they would probably have me as a customer pretty quickly, and I'll add this to my personal collection. I really like a lot of things about this pen, and so did Lori S. So Lori S writes, "The Pilot Custom 743 Verdigris is a gorgeous teal green, even more elegant in person with its gold furniture. I was lucky enough to get the Falcon nib, which is my favorite. It feels wonderful to hold and to write with, and very balanced, even capped. I knew before getting it, but worth noting to others, that the 743 with its lovely number 15 nib is less controllable for flexing than its little brother, the Pilot 912 FA. This writes more like an elastic nib, giving a bouncy writing experience and nice pooling of shading ink. Also, since I just got it, I don't use too much pressure on the maiden voyage of a flex nib, preferring to let the nib break in before I start flexing. I'm totally in love with this pen in every way. It is definitely a pen to get in any size nib if you can." I totally agree with Lori. Color me impressed by the Custom 743. I hope that Pilot introduces more exciting colors of this model in the future. The textbook definition of ingenuity is the quality of being clever, original, and inventive. Originally, Parker's Ingenuity model was released with the fifth mode writing technology back in 2011. For those who don't recall, Parker essentially took a fiber tip refill and hid it underneath a faux fountain pen nib, calling it the revolutionary fifth mode. Looking at the old Ingenuity pen is like seeing an embarrassing yearbook photo, isn't it? The new Ingenuity, while far less inventive than its original attempt, does capture the essence of the pen's lines and styling. So first thing one would notice when you uncap the pen is that it does not have the fifth mode refill, that the Ingenuity is now a traditional fountain pen. It got rid of that whatever felt tip thing that they made out of it and the faux fountain pen nib, and they put a real nib on it. What is really impressive about this pen, though, is that it is a brass lined pen. It's a fairly amply weighted pen, and it's got some pretty serious design to it. It has rather of like an Art Deco, I want to say, but very straight lines in the cap that's here in the Stealth Black model, and also in the grip section as well. It's also available in a few other classic lacquer styles besides this Stealth Black, which are pretty standard in terms of Parker. There's a black with silver, black with gold, blue with silver. This Stealth Black one, though, is rather contemporary, very strong looking design. The fountain pen has a stainless steel nib and does fill by cartridge and converter, of which a converter and 2 ink cartridges are included with each Ingenuity pen. It is also available in a matching rollerball. It starts at $184 for the rollerball and $232 for the fountain pen. Are you a peacock? Do you feel the need to spread your wings and fly? Then the distinct marbled style of the Penlux Delgado Peacock is for you. This pen has PMMA marbled resin, probably unlike any other marbled type resin that you've seen before. It is heavily a brown pen, which kind of confuses me a little bit because you would think that a peacock pen would be more turquoisey and have other various peacock type of colors in it, but it does have hints of, I would say, a mint green and turquoise throughout the rest of the resin, but primarily it's a dark brown pen. And it does have rather nice satin gold finish trims on it, as well as a wheel clip. The Penlux cap band looks really nice. It's almost kind of looks like a satin cap band, but then it has a little bit of gloss on it as well. It's very sleek looking. And fits, I think, the design very nicely. Now, you might not know this about the Penlux Delgado, but it is a piston fill mechanism and has a metal piston filling system that's inside here. So it's a rather, I would say, usually sized pen. So you could kind of compare it against the Nahvalur here. Nahvalur I think is going to be a little bit bigger. Yep, a little bit bigger than the Penlux Delgado. So it's a fairly decently sized pen, but I would say a little bit less on the oversized end. So I think it's a pretty good in the middle of the road type of pen. Definitely not as big as their Masterpiece Grand pen that it was kind of their calling card to start off with. So the Delgado is a little bit smaller than the Masterpiece Grand, which then is a little bit more accessible, I think, for general writing purposes. The nib on the Delgado is a number 6 size Jowo stainless steel nib, available in fine, medium, broad, or 1.1 millimeter stub. So we got the question of the week from Paul McHugh. How do you determine which brand and model pen do you choose for a Goldspot exclusive? As far as a brand or model go, we want to work with any of the reputable brands that we sell on our website. Some pen manufacturers are better suited than others at being able to produce these smaller batch designs. And in the past, we've collaborated with Retro 51, with Nahvalur, Leonardo, Sailor, Benu, Kaweco, and Edison Pen Co., to name a few brands. So, knowing which manufacturers are willing and capable of producing a batch of 50 to 500 custom pens is the starting point in deciding our next exclusive project. To select a particular model, we choose the most popular collectible pen design within the brand. For Retro 51, it's a Tornado. For Leonardo, it's a Momento Zero. For Kaweco, it's their Sport Pocket fountain pen. So speaking of Retro 51 Tornado, blossoming on May 23rd, we have the latest Goldspot exclusive rollerball pen, May Flowers. To follow April Showers, Retro 51 collector and graphic designer Tracy Marcioli provided this beautiful flowering design wrapped around the taper barrel of the Tornado rollerball. Blue and violet flowers look as though they are sketched onto the barrel and outlined in gold. Polished brass accents and a flower drawing on the top disc complete this lovely spring pen. You'll be able to find May Flowers and the remaining April Showers pens on the Goldspot website starting on May 23rd. A matching rickshaw pen sleeve will be also available along with a 2-pen koozie that features the artwork of April Showers on one side and May Flowers on the other. It's perfect if you collected both pens. So congrats to Paul, the winner of this week's giveaway for the Opus 88 Baby Beluga fountain pen prototype. Baby Belugas are sold out currently, and we are expecting to get more in probably in the next month or so. For this week's giveaway, though, we have a Lamy Safari USA fountain pen. And this was an exclusive to the United States. This is Safari design exclusive to the United States, done with a blue body, blue grip section, white cap, and red clip with a red finial. To enter, you must be subscribed to the Goldspot Pens channel. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment with a question you'd like for me to answer in a future episode. I'll pick a question to answer, and that will be our winner. Thank you for checking out this week's episode of the Right Stuff podcast by Goldspot Pens. Now, go out there, put your pen to paper, and write stuff. Until next time, stay inky, my friends. Take care.